the world has gone mobile. So my objective today is to give you some insight about and data about the size of this revolution, how this has been transforming all our life, personal life and professional life, and probably maybe why you should go mobile yourself as an individual or as a company, just not to be left behind. So let me give you some figures, big macro figures. Our job is to provide you the global app economy with global figures coming from the stores, from the downloads, revenue, usage, where are the people, how do they behave within the apps. But just a few macro figures which I think are very, very insightful. The first one is this one. 3 billion mobile devices last year, more than 6 billion by 2020. What does it mean? On a global population on the planet of around 7.5 or 0.4, means that virtually every single man, woman, and children will have access to a mobile device, which is going easier than to have access to running water. Second part of the equation is the fact that downloads are continuing to grow at a tremendous rate. So look at the figure. 150 billion last year, more than 300 billion mobile devices by 2020. And this is mainly fueled by emerging countries. I'm talking here about India, Indonesia, Mexico, Brazil, and also all the African continent, which is now accessing directly to the internet through a mobile device. Means that they will skip the desktop, laptop stage, and they will have access directly to this world through this tremendous experience, through a mobile. Third part of the equation, which is probably the most exciting, and this corresponds at Apani to a huge investment during the last 3 years. This is the explosion of usage. So today, look at the numbers. It doesn't mean anything. 900 billion hours worldwide. Yeah, it's million of years. But think about how much time you spend. We globally, worldwide, we spend more than 2 hours per day in our mobile device, on apps. By the way, on each hour spent on a mobile device, on a smartphone, you spend 40, 55, 51 minutes on your app, and only 9 minutes now on web mobile. This is huge, and this is going to double, more than 4 hours in average worldwide by 2020. Of course, if I ask you the question, you are already much over these figures. And consequently, the last part of the equation is the explosion of revenue. I'm talking here only about the money the publisher would put in the pocket if I add the in-app purchase and the revenue coming from the advertising. I'm not even talking about revenue made outside the stores, say or the m-commerce, which is even bigger than that. But we are talking here about big, big money, right? So the mobile is absolutely across every aspect of our life. It has totally changed the way we travel, the way we book travel, the way we watch TV, the way we connect to each other. So in every single part of our life, and professional and personal, and there is almost no boundaries anymore. So let me give you some insights. Again, macro figures about, I was talking about the explosion of usage. So, of course, our big clients are the gamers. So Jan, I've been talking about Gameloft. Gameloft is one of our big clients, Google also, and also Telefonica. But now let's focus more on, the big verticals which we are looking at, and look at the growth rates. This is huge. And I will give you a few slides zooming on the 4 in the middle. Shopping, finance, entertainment, video, and travel. Those are probably the four verticals which are the most disrupted at the moment. Let me give you some figures. For the first time ever, more than $1 billion were spent on one day during the last Black Friday in the US. And look at the growth. This is huge again. Number of hours spent within shopping apps, more than 30% increase year to year. And I was talking about the money spent outside. So the money made by eBay, Amazon, or Uber, all those guys are making a lot of money. So huge opportunity. And look at the growth rates year to year, 50%, more than 50%. So this is a nice example. Target is one of our big clients in the US, probably one of the biggest retailer. They've got a lot of apps. One of the most famous is Cartwheel. It's a coupon redemption app. They are doing a great job with this app. 27 million users. They did more than $600 million in coupon redemption in the past 3 years. Why? Because they just understand that if you get people coming back into your store, mechanically they will buy more. So that's logical. So they've got a tremendous app. So you can scan coupon within the store. You can also you have maps to find your items, and back at your home you can browse your coupon, and then you get notification when they're going to expire. So and this year they are going to announce they are going to launch within their apps their own mobile payment features. So very nice example. Retail banking now, another big vertical which is absolutely disrupted by the mobile. Everybody in all the big banks we know are literally engaged after the web. They are engaged in the mobile now to run after the clients. So look at the progression. So we studied the 10 biggest apps in the 4 main countries: France, UK, Germany, and Spain. And the growth rates are huge. 3x in Spain, 3x in Germany, 2x in UK and France, and this is growing again. So the more time you spend within your app, the more opportunity it comes for the bankers, of course. So on one side, you've got the classical, the traditional banks. I can tell you that most of them are now, they are not staying still. They are moving very fast because they have to. Otherwise, look at what happened. All the fintechs are coming. So we are really happy to have Imagine Bank as a client, which is I would say the digital arm from Caixa. But look at the landscape here. I selected a few rising stars: Fintonic and Verse in Spain, Linkzone Banking in France, Revolut and TransferWise in UK. Those are great apps which are taking everyday market share to the big traditional banks. So this is very interesting what happens in the fintech. So there is no real frontal battle. It would be too complicated to attack BNP Paribas or Caixa globally. Doesn't make sense. But all of these actors have been launching on the market, and most of them are mobile first, not to say mobile only. Very great apps to cover some specific needs you all have when it comes to retail banking. And this is very interesting. I can tell you all the CDO of all the banks in Europe and in the world are looking very closely to that. This is, again, not a frontal battle, but they will bleed and maybe die, we don't know, with 1,000 cuts, as the Americans say. So, and there is two accelerating factors. The millennials, again, but millennials, it's not necessarily people who are, in the age range. I'm a millennial, you're a millennial when it comes to using an app. We are very demanding, because we don't make any difference between our personal experience and professional experience. So we expect from the bank the best. And another very exciting external factor is, you maybe have heard of it, which is a European regulation which forces the traditional banks to open the client contacts to the fintechs. So that's That's absolutely exciting and creates a huge opportunity. Third vertical I want you to focus on is the video. So probably, as you know, Netflix has totally revolutionized the way we watch TV and the way we consume and the way we pay now for watching TV, watching movies. If you look again, we've taken here the 3 largest apps in US, China, and Spain, and look at the growth rates. Of course, it's difficult to rank against China and US, but it's 9x year to year in Spain. So again, tremendous opportunity. Netflix, of course, but in the US, if you look at who are the number 2, number 3, HBO, Hulu, and in China, the exact equivalent. You've got the IQ1, you've got the Tencent Video, and you've got Youku. They do exactly the same. Tremendous opportunity. Last very exciting vertical, which is a travel. We just launched a report, a vertical report on travel. I really engage you to download it from our website. So look again at the growth. So we looked at, again, Germany, France, UK, and Spain. So in 2 years, 2014, 2016, plus 100% of time spent in Germany, plus 120% in France, 150% in the UK, and 170%, almost 170% in Spain. Tremendous, again, tremendous opportunity, but also a risk of threats for traditional player. So as the bank was working pretty well. Oh, cool. And yeah, no surprise. In a travel field, app is really the ultimate tool. When it comes to prepare, even before preparing your flight or your travel, you've got to dream about it, and then you've got to prepare it. And this is all about, what we call the OTA, the online travel agency, and also the meta search or the kayak, the sky scanners. So these actors are proposing very, very cool experience through their apps. And then during your travel, you all have made the experience of, coming to a new airport, not speaking the language. This is very, very, this is very, you are stressed, right? It's a great experience. So you have to be taken by the hand, and the app is really the ultimate tool for doing that. So the airlines are really doing a great job. Again, great opportunity. So how will mobile change your industry? So many external factors. The first one is, as I said before, customer expectations are very, very high now. They don't, we are using apps every time, right? So we are expecting from your banks, your airlines, your retail to have the same level of experience. So you have to be prepared to answer this kind of question. Your direct competitors are not staying still. So you have also, they are investing a lot, so you have to keep up the pace. And also, you've got new threats coming from mobile only or mobile first entrants. And so you don't have to be left behind again. But it's not so easy to, when you're a traditional player, to come into the mobile industry. You have to be prepared to answer some key question, whatever your level is. If you are an executive, you have to be able to answer this kind of question. So how much should I spend in terms of acquisition? Or should I acquire, or should I develop myself? What is the ROI if I make an acquisition? And at the end of the day, how will I justify that in front of my board of investors? And if you are more on the operational side, if you are head of mobile, for example, you have to be able to understand and to answer this kind of question. How do I get my user spend more time or engage more with my apps? Absolutely key. That's exactly what we provide at Pani on the global app publisher journey, I would say. How does my app's performance compare to my competitors, direct or indirect? or what is the signification of a spike? How does it affect my ranking? So is it important, not important? So how should I react? And this is exactly what we propose at Apani. So we help all the app publishers in the world answering this kind of question at every different stage of the marketing model. So this is an ongoing process, from discovering to strategize, to acquire, to engage, and then ultimately to engage. So quick overview of the question you have to answer, to ask, and also the kind of question we can help you to solve. So at the discovering phase, you have to understand the opportunity, right? You've got to benchmark your app performance. You've got to understand the market size, the trends, and also you've got to identify the emerging competitors. So that's exactly what Matter, which is one of our big clients, they are using mainly Apani data to monitor and to understand their different markets. Second step is strategize. So it's all about when you've kind of understood the global market, the global trends, you've got to develop winning strategies. So very important point, and it's one of the cool features we propose, is understand what we call the cross-app usage. With which apps do my users interact with? What are the other apps they are more likely to use? This is very exciting in discovering potential partner and targeting, retargeting. I can tell you all the user acquisition manager at our clients are using this feature very, very, very often. Oh, sorry. You can also leverage market data and understand who are the movers and shakers. One of our big clients are the VC and hedge funds. They are using heavily our data to look after weak signals, just to see, to discover a rising star in order to put some money at the very early stage, or to validate some due diligence, or to monitor all the startups they have in the portfolio. That's very important. That's exactly what Mercury used, how they used our data when they wanted to enter the US market. Mercury is a kind of IKEA in Japan, very, very famous. Then acquisition, big point. So it's all about download. Everything starts with download. So you've got to optimize your user acquisition. Two ways. The first is organic, and the second is paid. Organic is absolutely key, because you have to know that roughly 2/3 of all the downloads of the apps come from searches on the App Store. So you have to be very, very performant on your App Store optimization. You're all familiar with SEO, search engine optimization on the web. ASO is the equivalent on mobile, which is even trickier to master. This is the kind of feature we provide. You also have to, when it comes to paid acquisition, you have to maximize your ROI. You have to benchmark the ad networks when you want to put your money or to put your ads. And also, you also have to understand, and Jan was presenting some very, very nice ads, kinds of apps. You have to understand which creative works or don't work. Should I put an interstitial or video or a contextual video, etc. That's all about understanding what works, what doesn't work, what do my competitor do, what do they do with regard to my specific positioning. But then that's only the beginning. Orbitz, which is part of Expedia, is using very, very heavily Apani data for the acquisition strategy. But again, acquisition is just the beginning, because you've got to retain and engage, because it's only with real active users that you're going to make money. So you have to deep dive into understanding what are the people, what are their behavior, what are their demographic, how much time they spend, what is the average length of a session. Globally, for Europe, in the category, what is the retention pattern in your market? Are you above, below? You have to understand that, and then to take actions to optimize. You've got to understand usage and engagement and retention, of course, and also very, very big point, I really encourage you to cherish your ratings and also review. 2-3 years ago, we said, okay, that's only geeks who are putting some reviews. It's not at all the case, because TripAdvisor, because Booking.com, they've made our education, right? So now everybody is leaving some review, and you have to analyze that, because it's absolutely key in understanding in advance what are the client expectations, what are the trends. Let me give you an example here. Capital One, which is one of our big clients at the bank, they were the very first to put Touch ID on iPhone in their apps. And then just by analyzing the review, they understood that people were waiting for the possibility to scan a check through the apps without going to the branch. And the ultimate idea is to close the branches. That's Pinterest, another big client, is using the data for engaging. And then ultimately, as I said, monetizing. Accelerate revenue, so understand, leverage the best practices, understand which model works or doesn't work, or even if you don't make money within the apps, you can also understand by triangulating what are your competitors on how much money they could make outside the store. So it's all about, monitoring the whole life cycle, and that's what we provide to our client. Glue, for example, it's a big game publisher. They are using heavily the data for that. And I think it's. I think I'm almost done. I'm not sure if you are all. We are very, very, very famous for some part of a client. We've got more than 800,000 people who are using our data on a daily basis. And we started with we've got all the game publishers of the planet, all the GAFA, NATO of the planet. We also have a lot of, as I said, VC and hedge fund. But when it comes to traditional corporate companies, we understand and we discover that we are not so well known. So that's our new challenge. But as you can see now, the next move for us is, and it's pretty exciting because a lot of big companies are moving. And what we expect is to give them guidance to their global strategy. So just to zoom in the Spanish market, so we are pretty proud to have this very good balance between big corporate companies, Telefónica, Amadeus, Imagine Bank, and very nice mobile-first company. I'm sure you know probably all of them. ABBA English is a very cool app to learn English. Yeah. Let Go, Redabo, Social Point, of course. Okay, so a quick word here. We are a global company, 7 years. Bertrand Schmitt, the French guy, he created the company in Beijing back in 2010, and then moved the HQ 3 years ago, following our investor, by the way, the 5 rounds of investor. But we are mainly a big data science company, so I'm really happy to be heading the South Europe team. We don't have yet an office in Spain, but we are really thinking about that. Huge traction in Spain, France, Spain, Italy now, but in South Europe, that's all the major countries. So I really encourage you to look at. We provide a lot of articles, and all those guys are on a regular basis. They are relying on App Annie data, and also all the clients on the left bottom side, they are relying on App Annie data for their earning calls. For example, the CFO of Apple regularly is including App Annie data, or the guys from Line. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that. That's the biggest social platform in Japan. Prior to the IPO, they've been relying on our data. And Gameloft, of course, is a big client. So, okay, mobile world, 6 billion mobile device by 2020. In every different segment of our lives, professional, personal lives. So what we provide here is a global guidance. The main, I would say, the flagship is the platform. We provide data insight, but also more and more we provide also trusted advice. We really want to be seen as a strategic partner and also provide some local support with our team of consumer customer success management, very important at APAC.